manage to stay on top of your work, not only at your desk, but wherever you are? When you have Innova Solutions by your side, you can pick up your work right where you left off. Whether it's on your mobile phone or your tablet, easily access your files without compromising on security. Take turns working on the same document with your colleagues while doing a quick conference call. Stay connected while balancing work and life. Whether you're already on your journey to a new way of work or just getting started, Innova Solutions is your trusted partner to reimagine the way you work.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this, our next edition of the Jamaica Observer Digital Life webinar. I'm your moderator this morning, Trevor Forrest, and let me tell you, this morning we have a very exciting discussion with some very exciting people. We have a fantastic panel this morning, and our topic is going to be how to intelligently manage your business. Now, before I introduce the panel, let me put some things into context about why we're having this discussion. Many businesses, especially micro, small, and medium-sized businesses, face a lot of challenges. Some of the main challenges is knowing when to make certain decisions, knowing when to hire more people, when to make certain investments. And one of the things we always have a challenge with, especially in Jamaica, is we never make those decisions based on data. It's normally based on gut feeling, seat of the pants, and that tends to become very costly. But with technology, we're able to make better decisions using data. The thing is, many businesses and business leaders say, well, you know, how do I get this data? How do I see this data? And what a lot of businesses don't realize is that they already have the data. They generate data every day. The challenge they have is finding that data, interpreting that data, and using that data to make better business decisions. And that is what we're going to talk about today. And to help us do so, we have what I would term a star-studded panel. Now, let me just say this from the beginning. I'm not going to read out all of the bio information for these people, because if I did that, we'd run out of time. So I'm just going to introduce each person. I'm going to let them tell you a little bit about themselves, and then we're going to get straight into our discussion. I'd like to take a quick minute to thank our sponsors, Innova Solutions, and I would also, as always, like to thank you for tuning in to this discussion that we're going to have today. So let me start first with my very first guest. Her name is Lacia Holmes Graham. Lacia is a powerhouse in the IT industry, although she may not say that, but I'm saying that because it's how the thing go. Lacia is Regional Customer Success Manager for Innova Solutions, and I would like to thank you, Lacia, for joining us this morning. Hi, Lacia.
Hi.
Great. Next we have, and I'm going to say this the way Jamile, when I met Jamile about 15 years ago, instructed me to say her name, Jamile Bustamante. So Jamile is the SMB lead for Microsoft Caribbean. Yes, I've known her for that long. And I would like to welcome Jamile. Hi, Jamile.
Oh, thank you, Trevor.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Had your coffee?
Ready to go.
All right, great. And finally, now this lady, when we talk about business analytics and business analyst, I don't think I've ever met, and I've met a couple, people in my time. I don't think I've met anybody with the wealth of experience that this lady has in business analytics and, the whole business analysis sphere. Her name is Marva Campbell, and she is joining us from London, the UK. Now, don't let her accent fool you. She is Jamaican. She can wax Jamaican really well, I've heard it. But she's going to promise to keep it British with us this morning. Good morning, Marva. How are you?
Hello, Trevor. I'm fine. Thank you very much. And thank you for the introduction.
Outstanding. So let me just start by asking each one of you. I'm going to give you like 60 seconds to just tell the audience about yourself, about what you do, starting with Lesia. Lesia?
Okay. Thank you so much for having us, Trevor. Thank you for inviting Innova Solutions, and we're just happy to sponsor. So I am, as you said, the Regional Customer Success Manager at Innova Solutions. I'm a wife, a mother of 2 beautiful children, and I serve in the IT industry for 14 years this year. Happy to be serving customers at many, many different levels. And what we really want to showcase here today is how we can assist customers with understanding how to make decisions from a more informed perspective associated with data, how to start with that, how to look at their business and who they are and where they're going, and then how they'll actually look at making sure that they're able to make proper informed decisions.
Excellent.
My marketing team and everybody who's been a part of this effort and everyone who supports this effort.
Excellent. Thank you, Lesia. Jamile.
Hello, sir.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Microsoft.
Well, thank you so much, Trevor, for having me here this morning, and thank you to Lesia as well for extending the invitation. Yes, as you rightfully say, I'm Jamile Bustamante Allen, and I am the SMB lead for Microsoft Caribbean. Under my watch, I have, the management, the planning, the strategy, design, and execution of the businesses that we are running for the small, medium business companies throughout the Caribbean, as per Microsoft definition. And what that means is that almost every single company is under my watch, because we only have like about 345 accounts that will be falling in what we call the corporate segment, an enterprise. So, and right there with Lesia in terms of what we are looking to get out of this seminar, I'm really happy to be part of this. The reality is that as the SMB lead, what we are seeing, as we are seeing that in the last 2 years, there is a greater tendency for businesses to acknowledge the need for them to transform. And part of their transformation is the adoption of technologies that will help them to take smart business decisions, data-driven business decisions. So I think that we are right on time to kind of assist some of our customers of theirs and entrepreneurs to understand the importance of navigating towards to business intelligence.
Great, thank you. And finally, Marva Campbell. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and what you've been doing across the pond.
Yes, hello. Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for inviting me today to this panel. It's an honor to be here. As Trevor says, I am British, hence the accent. I'm a business analyst. I've been a business analyst for many, many years. Love what I do. And I help small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large organizations, and central government to improve their services to their customers, have an understanding of the data that they hold and how that can help them in the business decisions that they are making or could be making, and also helping them when it comes to their business transformation. of which a business analyst is one of the most important roles that is used in that transformation.
Excellent. Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, we're going to jump into the discussion, and one first questions I want to ask, and I'm going to ask Lacia to answer this first, is this mythical beast called business intelligence. What is that? Can you kind of give us in some simple terms, what is this business intelligence thing? What is it?
Well, business intelligence is just simply looking at information and summarizing it. That's pretty much all it is. To just break it down simply, you are taking database size, mass of data, and you're trying to summarize it in a way that's easy to consume quickly. That's really all it is.
Well, you make it sound so simple.
But it's simple. It is simple.
So as a small business, because I'm a little small business, you know, I have my little Excel spreadsheet or something like that. Where is this data? Where is all of this data that you're talking about that is supposed to work with this business intelligence? Where is that data coming from?
So the data comes from everywhere. It comes from different devices that you have. It comes from the data that you collect for your customers. So for example, you will go to a business entity and you get a form to fill out. That's data that you should be putting into some form of spreadsheet, or that you put into a filing cabinet that you store in manila folders and they're kind of sectioned off. That's essentially what the data is. What a business has to think about now is how that information is received, created, and passes through the organization. What does it look like when I take it, I store it, if I destroy it, what that looks like, that entire information flow. And then how do I digest it now, and then be able to analyze it so I can summarize and have data that I need to see on the fly.
Okay. So I guess what you're saying is, and I've heard the term a lot, that data is the new oil. So what you're saying is nowadays business have to look at their data in a completely different way, and they have to as you say, look at new ways of receiving and creating data. Is that reasonable to?
Yes, it's very important for everyone, not just businesses, but yourself as an individual. How are you creating data? How are you storing the data? How are you destroying the data? That entire information flow is important.
Okay.
Then, having stored it, how do you clean it? Because most of us know the concept garbage in, garbage out. If you are taking in information or data that does not make sense, then you will project business intelligence that is not making sense either. So it needs to be clean in order for you to project something for you to make a good business decision.
Okay. So lesson number 1, garbage in, garbage out.
Very important.
So we need to make sure that in order to make good data-driven decisions, the data has to be good.
It has to be good, or what is called clean. The data has to be clean. So for example, if you have address data, and this is a very common thing in Jamaica, we have address issues at times where, because of our locale, because some places are cities and they may not necessarily have the correct PO box code, it can be erroneous. So for example, having an apart number that says A versus 4, you have an issue when you have to act, when you have to mail a letter. So things like that. So that it's very important for the data to be clean.
Great. So let me ask, let me pose my next question to Jamily, because all this sounds really great, but the general consensus among, micro, small, and medium-sized businesses, this business intelligence thing, this is only for big companies, right? Isn't it only for big companies? I mean, how does this, business intelligence work for small business? Does small business even need business intelligence? I may only have like 2-3 employees or 5 employees. How does this business intelligence stuff work for small business? This is big business things, right?
No, Trevor, no. Especially, and if we look at what has been happening in the last couple of years, competition is tougher. Trying to survive into a business is just, I guess that is just the game of the day. And this is how the importance of data comes into play. In order for you to be able to take the right decision, in order for you to be able to understand how you can increase the profit, how can you be more competitive, in order for you to take those decisions, this is where the data comes in. And when Leisha mentions that business intelligence is about, it's just a way of you just getting, storing, collecting, processing, cleansing, and then summarizing and visualizing that data. The final objective is you can see all this historical and current data in order for you to take the best decision. And this is where it comes, it will help you to predict the level of success that you can have in your business. Again, we are in times and age where competition, it is out there. A lot of the companies went into survival mode. And the only way that you can make the difference, the only way that can help you to grow your business and to stand out of the crowd is if you have enough data that you can actually visualize and you can actually go ahead and say, well, I'm realizing that branch A is more profitable than branch B. I'm not talking about closing branch B. I'm talking about understanding why branch A is having some successful. What can I do that will allow me to? Perhaps it's just what time I'm opening the store. Perhaps it's about the items that I'm selling in the store. They are not the most popular items per se. Perhaps it's the market that I'm targeting in the store. But you can only get to that point of understanding what's happening if you get a complete 360-degree view of the data that you're having. And with that one, then you decide that I'm moving left, I'm moving right, I'm going up, I'm going down.
Excellent, excellent. So this thing called the competitive edge, it applies to whether you're small, medium, micro, large, a large business. So what I'm getting from you is, if you want to maintain or establish some sort of competitive edge, you need to start looking at data as a tool for you to get there. Is that reasonable to say?
Absolutely. You need to look at data as a tool and as one of the most important items that you have now at your disposal. And this is very important. It's something that is already there. You're not going anywhere to try and get the data. And I think that Leisha mentioned that. You already have the system, you already have the Excel spreadsheets, you have probably your QuickBooks, you already have a lot of this data, and in most cases you have been collecting this data for years to come. This is now putting this data in, the function of the data is to help you to take the decision. Yes, so definitely the data is an important, and I would probably say one of the most important tools that you have in your entire business today.
Got you. So all right. So let me ask you something, because as small business people, listen. When I go into business, my goal is to make money, right? Profit is the name of the game. All of this business intelligence thing that you're talking about and all of that, money are in this thing to make. So I'll pose a question again to Leisha. How this thing help me make money? How does this fancy business intelligence? Because I'm sure I'm going to have to spend some money to do this stuff, and we're not really in the spending money thing. I want to make money. How does this stuff help a small business medium-sized business, a micro business, how does it help me? I cannot see how this thing going to help me make money. I make some decisions without this stuff and everything look good. How is this thing going to help me? Why do I even need to consider this?
That's a good question. I think the first thing is Power BI that we're talking about today, you can actually download it for free, right? So you can go to www.powerbi.com and download the application for free and start to do your analysis on your own.
No, wait, don't start with that yet. I don't want you to go there yet, because we're going to get to the tools. What I want you to tell me, or I'm the advocate for the audience. I get that some of them things are for free, yeah, but when I download it for free and all of these things, it's going to take time to do all of this stuff, go through them numbers, and we're good in my little spreadsheet, but what I kind of want to understand is what's the difference between using these new approaches as opposed to the current ones that I use? Is it more efficient and so on? And in doing so, how it helped me make more money? Because money me are defending them. So how does it make my little business make more money?
It helps you make more money by you being able to summarize faster. So you're able to summarize faster, and then you're also able to predict. And the predictability aspect is the aspect that adds the additional value. Every single business wants to know which section of their business makes them the most money. So you can shift the investment to that section so you can make more profit, you can make more margin. If you're not doing that analysis regularly, then you're not going to be able to make that quick shift. If you have an opportunity present itself, maybe you have some cash in hand and you can shift it in that area. So that's why you want to have a tool like Power BI to enable you to help you to look into the future. Because most persons who use Excel now are looking at the present, right? They're looking at the present and they're looking at the past. And it's not to say that anything is wrong with that, but you still need to be able to have a visionistic view of how you're going to sustain, survive, and keep rooted in your customer base so that you can save and reinvest in your business to make the profitability that you're continually dreaming of and thinking about when you wake up in the morning.
All right. I like that. That kind of makes sense to me now. I get it. So seeing as though, this is what is going to help me to make money. All right, great. How much it costs? So you can go into the Power BI free download now.
Okay, so not a problem. So Power BI, it comes in 3 options. So you have the Power BI desktop that you can download for free at www.powerbi.com. You can also work with us at Innova, and we can give you that free option through our portal. Then you have Power BI Professional, that is $9.99 per user per month. That now is when you have large, extensive database sizing that you need to, invest in and dig a little deeper. That's typically when you have a business analyst in the environment, right? And then you have Power BI Premium. Now that's for the real big boys now, in terms of not the business size now, but in terms of the data and the type of analysis that you're doing. So for example, that's typically for research data, biotech, and so forth. That's when you're really analyzing a lot of transactions, a lot of information, and things can get really hectic. Though that pricing typically is in the 4,000s, And that one requires a lot more effort and a lot more planning to ensure that you're not just throwing money at the problem, but you have an idea of what your problem is, you know where you're going, and you're spending with an understanding of your exact return on investment.
Boy, you use a whole heap of big words a while ago, right?
Sorry.
I hear business analyst, I hear database, I hear return on investment. I had to take up, the mobile dictionary and look up some of these words that you're using. But what's interesting, and I want to take this particular opportunity to bring Marva into the discussion, is you mentioned this thing called business analyst, because you say I can download these tools and start using them. But listen, some of us using Word and Excel, that is the height of the day. You want me to download something extra now if you're going to learn something new and go confuse up my thing. But you said that some of these tools are used by business analysts, and so this is something I kind of want to interrogate a little bit, this whole concept of business analyst, because some of us may not be familiar with what exactly that is, what does a business analyst do, and how that helps a business, and how the business analyst helps me make money. Because remember, it's money we're defending. So I'd like to ask Marva, because Marva is the queen of business analysts. That is the new title I'm giving her for this discussion. So Marva, could you kind of tell our viewers what is a business analyst? What does a business analyst do?
Right. So it's a great question, and there are many different answers that I could give you, because there's many facets to a business analyst. But I will stick to what I do. I am the sort of person that you would bring into your organization or your small business to look at how you do your process. Every business, whether it's a one-man band to the multi-billion organizations, have a process. And that process should always be reviewed. So what I would do is I would look at your process review. I would look at the data that you have on your spreadsheet, and I would understand what that is telling me and what you could do in your business to improve your process, your customer experience, and at the end of the day, your bottom line. Because until you understand your process, your data, and therefore your business, you will not be able to improve in your bottom line. And that is where someone like me will come in. I work with small businesses right the way through to major UK government organizations. And I help them, along with understand their data, therefore understand their process, and understand how and what they deliver to their customer, what value they give their customer, therefore what value their business have, and the information that they hold.
Okay, so what you're saying, so let me try unpack this, because like I said, it's some big words Lacey started us off with, so we're distilling it now, right? So the business analyst, Marva, I don't have to be a business analyst as a business owner. I can bring somebody in, because all of this data that you say I have, I may not know how to interpret all of that stuff. So first, what you're saying is I need to go get one tool that I can get for free, a tool like Power BI. I download this tool, and then I need to take this data that I didn't even know I had, but it's there, and put it into this tool. And a business analyst is somebody who can help me to do that, is what you're saying. But then when all of that data goes into the tool, somebody has to help me to understand it. And that again is what the business analyst is supposed to do. All right, so this is starting to make a little sense now. So when the business analyst now helps me to understand this stuff, you talked about review processes and improve customer experience and all of these things. What exactly do you mean by review process? What is that? What is that about?
Right, so by reviewing processes, I mean, well, let me take a step back. A process is what you do in your business. So, for example, you want to sell a pint of milk. How are you going to sell that pint of milk to your customer? You have a process that you follow. Yeah? You need to understand what that process is. You need to know what data you need in order to do that process, and therefore give your customer a good service. Yeah? Unless you know what your process is, unless you know what your data is and what data you're using, there is no way you can improve your customer experience. Because as you know, we are all becoming very, very finicky in how in the services that we are offered. So we have these high expectations. In order to meet those high expectations, you need to know what your process is, and you need to know what your data is, and you need to know what your customer is expecting from you.
So, but hold on. But here is the thing. I know what the process is. It's right here. I go buy the milk, put it on the shelf, customer come in, buy it, go to the cashier, check out, boom, cash in the bank. Why is it so complex? It's right here. We don't need no expensive tools and business analysts to tell me how that works. What's the value? How do I need to justify to myself that I need to go complex up the thing, as Jamaicans would say?
Well, the business analyst and the business intelligence software will tell you A, what type of milk you bought, B, what the price was, C, what your volume is, D, what your customer is buying and when. Yes, you can hold it all up here in your head, but you will always forget elements of that.
Okay. Yeah, well, I won't disagree with you there, because when old age set in, you're not remembering anything. So I can understand. So really, then what you're saying is the combination of the tools, the data that is gathered, and the interpretation gives me a better picture of precisely down to the weeds of what is happening, and then I might even see some things that I perhaps wasn't seeing before. That's kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
I think I can. That sounds reasonable. So let me push back to. I want to ask Jamile a question. Based on the fact that, a lot of times, and again, then this may, in fact, this is a question for all of you, but I'll ask Jamile to start. So clearly there seems to be some value around this, because if there wasn't any value being derived by other businesses and so on, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. But can you kind of tell us about the kind of value that small and medium-sized businesses are getting? Can you paint some scenarios? Talk about some customers perhaps that you've seen. You may not be able to call names, but kind of give us some stories where you saw somebody going from zero to hero, because they may have chosen to try this intelligence thing. I'll start with you on that, Jamily.
Okay, thank you, Trevor. And that's an excellent, I would say, an excellent question. And I like what Marwa was saying and what you actually mentioned before as well, Leisha. There's many different scenarios, and we could talk. If you're going to say talk like a business analyst, there's so many different use cases that you could just bring this and create an impact. I mentioned something before that was about increasing for example, your sales, the business revenue if you are sales. We just spoke about the process. You think that you know the process, and you might know the process, and so far you believe that has worked good. Only when attention is being called in a specific points in the entire, I would say, journey, that's when you start to realize that maybe it's not as efficient as you thought it might be. So here comes BI to help you, BI at the rescue. BI to realize to say, do you realize that in you trying to sell the milk has been waiting for someone to pick it up for about probably 24 hours? Because you never allocated the right resources, you never realized that even in your critical path, what you were doing. And suddenly this becomes like what? So you could actually be selling more milk. You could actually be having ensure that your customer has a better customer experience if you improve the time that the milk is at the X, Y, and Z point waiting for someone to pick it up. And you would have never probably realized that until there was data to show you that the milk on a consistent manner has been there for over 24 hours waiting to be pick it up. And here we are, just saying like, oh, wow. And then the analysis, the help that you're getting is just to understand if we picked up that within 6 hours, how much money we are saving, what's the impact it's going to have in my revenue, and what's the impact that it's going to have in the customer experience. Perhaps a lot of your customers are going to be happier because guess what? Milk is fresher, and they know that they can just go on within this time, they can actually pick up that. So that's just talking about efficiency.
Yes.
And this efficiency, it can lead to increased customer revenue, increased revenue, improve the customer experience. Just one thing can lead to so many things. There are other examples that we could talk about, and it could be perhaps linked to marketing.
Okay.
How do we know that we are marketing the right product for the right time of the year, for the right age group? How do we know that? Only by pulling the data. What are the persons between 20 and 25 buying at 5 p.m.? They might all decide that it is okay for them to just have sugary drink, and some other people prefer the water. You wouldn't know that if you don't have, first of all, the ability to collect the data, to process, analyze, visualize the data, to say, look at what's going on here. So let us just say in halfway through at 5 p.m., a lot of the youngsters coming out of the school are drinking more of X, Y, and Z. I can only know that because if I do review that data, again, and a smart decision driven by data, then I know that at this point in time, probably I need to have my shelf packed up with more water, or I need to buy more of this specific type of drink or this specific type of a snack because this is the one that is actually hitting it.
Okay.
I could mention so many others there. I want to allow Leisha and Marva.
Yes, no man. We're going to bring Leisha and Marva in because you mentioning that kind of put some things into my head because I go to I'm a foodie, so I go to certain places to buy certain things, and you go at certain times and some places will say, oh, we're out of that right now. And exactly. I'm looking around and I'm like, how can you possibly be out of this when the line is going out the door for this? How does that happen? Right?
Exactly.
So I'm kind of thinking,
they never had the time, or they don't have the opportunity to collect enough data to show them that within 5 and 7, the amount of persons that are coming through the store is way bigger than the, or higher than the amount of persons that you have showing up at 2 o'clock. So you are
Yes.
going to make sure that between 5 and 7, you are fully stocked up, you're ready to go, and you are just waiting on your customers to show up, and you extend to them the service that they are expecting and waiting. So there will be no line. Again, customer experience being improved. And with
Yes.
that higher customer experience, guess what? More profit, because more people are going to say, you know, the thing there, you don't have to wait. But when you go down there, so you're waiting for a long time. You're waiting for a long time. So
Absolutely.
all that connects in that
I'm,
way.
I'm seeing where this is starting to make some sense. So, Lesia, give us your perspective on this.
Yes, I have one example of a school actually.
Okay, great.
Probably about 5 years ago. And at the time, they had a very sharp target. We had met with them in summer, and they were at about 2,000 students, and they were looking to move to 3,000. And they wanted to focus on getting students outside of the country at the time. We took a simple Excel sheet at the time, and that was Power BI. I think it didn't just come out, it was out for a while, but we took that Excel and we extrapolated it for them on a map visual of the world. And what we found was that most of their students, quite a few of their students actually came from Africa, right? So they were already well on their way to meet that metric. They did not know that, because they weren't looking at that data, they weren't looking at the Excel sheet in that way. And I think it's important to understand that looking at numbers in a table versus looking at them in visualizations, because we are naturally creative people. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be an executive, you can be a business analyst, it really doesn't matter. Doing that gives you a way in which you can actually solve the problem. And that's why visualizations are so important. And the way how you visualize can actually solve your problem faster than you think. And so what we found was that historically that school had a link to Africa. And they were actually serving that need there. So then they built the strategy around serving that particular demographic, and they were able to meet that. And that was just a simple, they were able to meet that target. And that was a simple. Okay. We actually did that for them in a discovery meeting. They didn't pay for it. It was something that we did to help them. And then now that value was shown, they saw the return on investment, and they were further motivated to do their own work, to really look at the process, as Marva said, to look at the return on investment in terms of investing in that, and then having their students be a part of that journey. And I think that what we do is we overcomplicate it first. And that's why we don't want to solve the problem. We think that is a big thing. It's not. Just get the Excel sheet and let's work on a visualization one. And you'll be surprised to see how you actually be able to see something that you had a visual for in your head, and it was something completely different when you analyze the data.
Okay. You introduced another big word that I'm going to touch on in a second. Visualization. So I want to touch on that in a little bit, but let me have Marva weigh in on some of the scenarios that she's perhaps come across where, you know, this whole business intelligence thing has, you know, been of value to businesses, whether it's private sector, public. In fact, because I know that you've worked in the public sector a lot, and you know, in our Fair Island, we always like to challenge our public sector's customer experience. You have undoubtedly come here and visited the tax office, so you know what the experience. Tell us about some of the scenarios or perhaps use cases that you have experienced, especially in the public sector, as you know, how business intelligence may have aided in making that whole customer experience, better?
So one of the experiences that I can give you, and I'm going to sanitize it because I can't say too much, but it's around, for example, your pension, right? You are paying into your pension, but you don't know how much you're paying in, what it's worth, etc. So you go to a department that manages your pension, a company that manages your pension, and because they have multiple databases with multiple information about me, they cannot tell me exactly what my pension is, what my pension will be, how much money I'm paying it. Oh, by the way, they can't even tell me what my correct address is because they have multiple, different addresses, just slight differences on multiple databases. That doesn't tie up. Business intelligence will tell you, once you start putting the data in and visualizing it, it will tell you all the errors and all the touch points of where those errors are occurring, where the mismatching of data is occurring. And once you've got that, you can then cleanse your business data on your customer. And then when the next person comes to ask about their pension contributions, etc., lo and behold, all the information is there, it's correct. You can tell me within seconds how much I've paid, contributions, what my projected pension is going to be in the future.
So no, but this is very instructive, because in what you have said right there, in that less than 60 seconds of, I'm sitting here and I'm saying, but this sort of business intelligence thing is something that perhaps government services needs to seriously start to look at, because trust me, and I'm sure every Jamaican can attest to this, worse than bank, I don't want to go to deal with government, because I have to go here and give this information, then I have to go over here and give this information. I'm going all over the place and giving the same information, and I still can't get what I want. It seems as though liberal use of business intelligence tools and platforms will allow even government services to provide a better customer experience to me. Very interesting. But let me roll back a little bit, because we need to demystify some big words that were used here. Primarily visualization, because I'm keen on understanding the visualization thing, because a lot of us, we're not really into even though we're using Excel and we have spreadsheet, but it's whole heap of numbers and thing, and really not this numbers thing. But if you show me a picture, I'm good. And the picture thing sound like this visualization thing. So let me ask Lacia to expand all of these things on this visualization thing. What is that about? How that drop it?
So a visualization is simply just a picture that describes numbers in a way that you can easily look at. So a simple visualization that we all know is a bar chart, a line chart. Ones that are used typically by world organizations is typically like sometimes a Gantt chart. A Gantt chart is one as well. You have the map types, and you can actually create your own. You can create your own visualization based on your organization and your industry. You have the dial type as well for persons in sales, for metrics as well. And then you have the block diagram as well, that has to do with like probably looking at population data, or data like, especially given the pandemic, a lot of persons are looking at data in that way. So yes, so like you'll see on the screen there, You have the bars. The bars are typically used. You have the bubble as well. So you have many different forms and types. There was this customer that I know. It's an international customer though. They actually have a picture of someone, and when they're profitable, the person's face is green, and when they're not, the person's face is red. So you can have, it can be fun too. It can be fun. It doesn't have to be stoic. It doesn't have to be typical. It just has to be in a way where you simply get the information quickly, and then you can spend time as you need to digest. So that's really all it is. A visual is a simple way of looking at the data outside of a table.
Okay, so I can take the whole heap of numbers and make it a picture.
Right. It's kind of like when you go to school and you're telling a story and you do a painting.
So you see, so we can now start to tell stories through pictures with data.
Right.
See, I'm getting it, I'm getting it, and I hope my audience is getting it. And let me just take this moment to say, audience, if you have questions, feel free to ask the questions, because what I will do, I'll ask I'm here for you. So if you have any questions, put your questions in. I will ask the questions for you. So because, listen, if we were to add up the cost of having these people on for an hour and 90, none of we could afford it. Let me just say, so take advantage of the time now, because we can't afford these people on a regular day. Okay? So please take the time. If you have questions, ask the questions on the in the chat. I will try to ask those questions, and we're going to have a Q&A at the end, but try ask the questions from now, because I don't want the time to run out, because this conversation is going to get spicy in a little bit. So let me touch on what I would say is perhaps a major concern that, again, many businesses have. Big question they would ask. All right. So all of this stuff is well and good. It's so nice. You've been telling me how I can make money. Like it. You kind of tell me how much it costs, because you say I can download the thing for free, but then I have to go find somebody to go interpret and make sense of it for me. Marva, let me ask you something. How... I have a hard time appreciating what the value of this business analyst is. I mean, because I never, some of us, we never even hear about this before. Business analyst, right? I'm an accountant. You have line staff, you have your lawyer on a back somewhere, and you have the man up top. But this business analyst, it seems as though the business analyst is a critical addition to my staff. How do I justify, either including or perhaps engaging a business? How do I justify that? Where the value come from? Can you speak to that?
I'll give you a simple example of how you can justify bringing in a business analyst. For example, you have, and I'm going back to processes, you have a process that you currently use that takes, from end to end, takes a day, to deliver, a whole day. That whole day could cost you £20,000 in processing that end-to-end journey. A business analyst would come in and would look at that and say, right, step number 3, that's a manual process. You can automate that. That will not only save you money, it will save you time. Step number 10, that's a manual process. And by the way, that's going to Department F. And Department F has an SLA that's 2 weeks. Well, hold on a moment. Your process that should have taken you a day is in fact taking you 2 weeks, 1 day at that particular point. But you don't know about that because you're not analyzing your process. You're not analyzing what is happening at each step of your process. So what could cost you £20,000 now? Bringing in a business analyst could reduce that to 10,000. Yep.
Okay.
And therefore, I've already improved your bottom line. And even with my cost, you are still making a profit.
Okay, so hold on. No, but this is very interesting now. So what you're saying is a business analyst can actually save me some money or make me some money because tomatoes and tomatoes, right? And also shorten the time for doing things. You know, I hope some people from the private and public, well, the public sector more so, are listening to this because, yes, this business intelligence thing seems like it is something that is important to saving some taxpayer money and lessening my time in some of these places so that I can go back to work and make my own money. No, okay, great. So I understand, but you see, you know, Marva, you brought in another big word, automation.
Oh,
you see, no, you come in like Leisha, you know, with these big words, but that's okay. What I'm going to do, you see, Jamily kind of keep the thing simple, you know, right? So I'm going to ask Jamily to address this particular part here, the value of and keep it no big words for me, you know, no big words. How I mean the experience that you've seen, you know, across not only Jamaica but across the region of deriving value from these things as a small business. How does these tools, these new ways of doing things redound to profits for businesses? How does it boost the bottom line? How have you seen it doing that?
And another excellent question, Trevor. And I think that if we put together samples mentioned by Leisha, by Malva, and even for the comments that you have made, it is quite clear that for a small business, this is a big thing. It is a big thing because it helps you. You are not doing this whole thing on your own. In some cases, you are subcontracting other businesses, you are subcontracting other persons, etc. And having an understanding that how long, and I would just mention something that was very important, how long do you use the resources for? Right there and then, you are opening the door to be more profitable. If I can reduce the time that I use those resources and the data is helping me to understand that is just business profits right there and then. That's a simple way. Becoming more efficient, becoming more agile. Hopefully this is not a big word. Becoming more agile. It's just giving you right there and then value for your business. That's just one way. We spoke before about uncovering trends and inconsistencies. That's another quick way of you additionally making more money. That, by the way, sometimes I will call them the unseen ways. We are probably too into the we want to see if I was spending $2, if I bought something for $2, and if I pay one, then I'm saving $1, so I'm making that's $1 in my pocket. But I think that there is a lot happening in the business, and hopefully we are opening that door today for you to take into account in the process of you generating your final products or delivering your final service, that they are all impacting your profitability as a business. And I believe that that's where we need to make sure that we understand the value of the BI. And the value could come in different manners. I think that early on we spoke about And we spoke about understanding kind of the return of investment, how soon you make your money back. And I think that in the same area, when you look at it, is that are you able today to understand how much it's costing you or how much you are losing because you are not having the right information to take the decision? It is like a catch 22 or the
Yeah.
old story about who came first, the egg of the chicken. But when you actually think about it, it's like a lot of the businesses today that they don't have the ability to leverage on Power BI, on a Microsoft Power BI, etc., they don't understand what they are missing on. So you got to get into this path in order for you to see and kind of compare and say, oh, so
Yes,
there, as
yes.
you said, this gut feeling that you might be saving money, but you have no idea because at the end of the day, you have not been using any of the you have not been doing any of the things that we have spoken about it in terms of reviewing your processes. And I do believe it's true that contracting a BA, I'm sorry, Mama, can be a little bit costly when you just look at the cost of contracting the person or contracting the services. But when you realize the impact that this person can have just by the comment that was just made a while ago by Malva, you realize that uh, that's so true. In my previous life, I used to do that. You look at the entire process and
Yes.
you only believe that it's taking you 1 day.
Mm.
And then you are not realizing that it's just stuck with somebody for 3, 4 days because your SLA is nothing more than just, I'm going to give you back this in 72 hours. So it's not taking you the 1 day. And I see Mama just going like, because it's the reality of the game every single day of our lives. So when you ask me about what's the value that this brings to SMEs, I'm going to go back to what I said at the early beginning. In the SME world, in the SME segment today, uh, it's about being more competitive. You call it a competitive age. This is about being more competitive. This is about you being every dollar counts. This is about being you more profitable. But it's important for you to identify the areas where you can get the competitive edge, where you can be more profitable, where and this is what about the value is. It's
So,
about
I
so
have
what I'm hearing from you, Jamile, is business intelligence gives you an eye into some of the hidden profits. Because remember, it's profits do my thing, profits, you want to make them. So it
it does.
gives you an eye into to hidden profits. One thing. But because, it's always interesting, you have some businesses, they're saying, listen, I'm making $100 million profit a year. I'm great. I don't need this. Until somebody comes in and shows them that, oh, by the way, you're losing 500 million over here. And suddenly
Exactly. They could be
100 million doesn't look
It
exciting
doesn't look
anymore.
as good. You could be making $600 million, but you so far you did not have the data to show you,
Yes,
or
yes.
the tool or the recommendation, suggestion, or analysis, because we have to account for the work that consultants like the BA, like Mama, will do. You until you are calling to that point, you don't realize, and you are so right, Trevor. There's a lot of persons who feel that they are making a lot of money. What they have never asked themselves, can I make more money? What they don't believe themselves is that they could be just at the beginning of it's just
Yes,
the tip
yes.
of the iceberg. You're making and you call out a very good number, $100 million. Can you make $200 million?
Yes, yes, yes.
That's the
Absolutely.
question. It's not to settle for what you're making now. It's that can you make more?
Right, right. So this I think is an important lesson again about this business intelligence. It can tell you what you could be making based on the data that you have on hand. So this is very important. So let me touch on this because I see some questions coming from the audience. So if I were to, take that leap and jump into this business intelligence thing, go download Power BI, call Marva decides out of the goodness of her heart to give me a free consultation, or Innova, I call Innova and they say, yeah man, we'll come in and we'll have a thing and show you some pictures and give you an idea of where you could be, right? How long does it take? And this is a question again, that I'm going to pose to everybody. How long does it really take for me to start to realize, this new value, these new profits, this my business now becoming more intelligent? How long does it typically take for this business intelligence to deliver on this return, or this return on investment from business intelligence? Leisha, let me start with you.
Right, so I wanted to touch back on Yamile's point. So we spoke about the ability for you to access further profits, but what you're trying to assess is your cost of sale. How much does it cost in money and time for me to make the profit that I want, whether it's 10, 20, 30, 40, sometimes for some entities, 50% margin above what you're selling. So once you're able to analyze that now, then you're able to determine how quickly you can make the money. Because if you're taking 2 weeks to sell, then you can't realize until 2 weeks pass. If you're taking 1 day to sell, you can start to see it faster. What we have a tendency to analyze at times, and I say we because we all run businesses too, right, is we analyze the revenue coming in and we analyze other items, but we're not analyzing the cost of sale. How long does it take to sell and how much money does it take to sell? So once you assess that, then you can actually capture the exact figure. And depending on your business, if it's retail, it's a daily figure that you're looking at. For some entities, if it's in banking and finance, that's definitely daily based on transactional data. For manufacturing, it may be different. For education, it may be different. For public sector, it may be different. Although that's cost of service. That's what I call it for public sector. It's different. It's not sale, it's serving. So I think that's where you start. You look at your cost of sale, time and money. Right, I want to get to the discovery. So we are offering as Inova today, the first 50 persons that register with us for a free 15-minute discovery call, we are offering them the ability for them to get access to a free 30-day trial of 25 users of Office 365, and we will add a Microsoft Viva to that. If you already have Office 365, then we will do the 25 users for Microsoft Viva. I want to pause there and give the ladies, my lovely ladies, another chance to speak, and then I'll speak to Viva because Viva.
No, wait, hold on. Don't touch Viva yet. Wait.
I'm not going to touch it. I said,
let me go back. Let me go back to the freeness. Right? So we need to talk. I heard whole heap of free a while ago. So let me, because we still have some questions from the chat, but we like free. So let's touch on the free. So please say again, you said the first 50 people.
The first 50 persons
yes.
that book a call with us.
Yes.
Right? They're able, and this is until the 9th of November, so get to it, just like what you're sending in the questions.
How they get in touch with you?
So you can get in touch with us at sales. At Inova Corporation, that's INOVACORPORATION.com. And you register with us for a 15-minute discovery call. It's not going to take that long for us to show the value, yes? And you will get the 25 users for Office 365 for 30 days for free, along with Microsoft Viva if you don't have it at all. If you do, you get Microsoft Viva as well. So sign up the first 50 people. The 50. Right? Okay.
You see the value that this thing brings. Jamaica Observer's digital life webinars constantly bringing value. I mean, the level of freeness, because I know what this stuff costs. Okay, so serious giveaways going on here. But so, like I said, and Shannon Clark, yes, there will be a recording. It will be shared on the Observer's YouTube channel and so on. So yes, you can look out for it there. But no, this is great stuff. But like I said, let us go back to how long it will take for me to see the return on this investment if I decide to take this plunge, get the 15-minute call, and do all of these wonderful things. How long should I expect to see that kind of return on investment? That's for you, Leisha. And then I'm going to ask Jamily in her experience as well. So really quickly, how long? Just give me a number. Give me, 2 weeks, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, how long?
Well, for the example that I gave, that customer was lucky to see it in a day. It really depends. It depends. I genuinely believe that you can see value as soon as you start to visualize. Now, the amount of that value is a completely different question, gotcha. Right? So gotcha. I'll allow the ladies.
All right, no problem. Jamile, how long? In your experience, how long?
Boy, you want a figure? You want a number?
Yes, man. That's what my audience wants to hear. How long? I need to make Christmas coming. So I need to make some money.
I heard. But before we get into that one, let me make a point that we have been just going around, and I think I want to feel that it's clear, but I'm going to call it out. Let us be reminded that one of the biggest values and beauties that is offered through business intelligence and Microsoft Power BI is the fact that you're getting access to all this in real time. And I think that it's important that we make that call out, because that as well is adding value to the whole equation. Before, you ask for a report, somebody gives you an Excel thing, or somebody, let us say that you're a little bit bigger, you have your own IT department, they send you down a report, then you have to ask them what it is all about. Today, we are talking about you having visualized data at the fingertip real time. And I do believe that that's a very important point, because it's adding a lot to the value components that we're trying to discuss. How long it was taking you before to take the decision? By the time that you were ready and you decided, I'm going to just switch, I'm going to start selling, orange juice today, it was 2 weeks after all the fact and everything that you had reviewed. So perhaps the value of you starting selling orange juice today, it has gone. The momentum for you to make profit out of that is already gone, because it took you too long between analyzing the report, not having access to these, not being able to visualize. It took you too long to take a decision. So today we are talking going versus a static information that you are trying to handle and process and analyze and take some decisions, versus dynamic things. Okay. If it changes in the morning, you're able to see what exactly has gone different, so you can take an action. It's giving you insights real time. And I believe that that's an area that if you're going to, again, if you ask me how soon you start seeing value, I will say right away. I will list you right there on there.
Wow. Now, powerful. Very powerful.
The amount of the value, that the actual amount, is going to depend on so many different things. It's going to depend on how much you were losing before.
Okay.
How much you were losing before. What were the things that you were not seeing or not understanding? What was the impact? And I think that earlier this morning I said, what was the cost of your probably your worst moment, or the bad decision that you have to take based on the fact that you never had the right data. And then when you look behind, you go like, oh my God, look at what I just did. And that cost me, I don't know, $2 million. And then you come and you bring this whole thing and you set it up and you start using it right away. You're able to determine that I should not go this route, because that's going to cost me $2 million. So you just saved yourself $2 million.
Excellent.
You just saved $2 million with that.
So Marva, based on your experience, how long have you seen some of these returns? How long
Right.
does it take most times when you incorporate BI into your business? How long has it taken to
Yeah.
see these kinds of returns?
Yeah. I agree with the ladies. You can see a return within a day. But I will say this, what you see and what the data is showing you and what BI is showing you, what the results you see will depend on how quickly you act on what you have seen. If you can see that your process is inefficient, and if you make a change now, this is the benefit. If you wait for a month to do it, yeah, then it's going to take you a month. Yeah, but you have to analyze the data and react to that data. Use that data to generate profits, savings as soon as it happens. Again, it also depends on how big your organization is. If you're a small business, you are likely to see quicker results than a bigger business that has multiple departments that they have to go through.
So this could be very beneficial to medium and small businesses.
But also big businesses.
Yes. Insofar as time, though, it's and you know, you say that, and I see a question here from Brianna Haywood, which is a perfect segue right now. It says, what are some tips for proactively incorporating business intelligence tools into your overall business strategy? Now, I think that's a really good question for this panel at this particular time. And, Marv, I'll start with you, then I'll, go around the virtual table to get your thoughts on this. What are some of the tips that you would give to businesses to incorporate, what are some of the questions they should ask? What are some of the steps they should take to incorporate, tools like Power BI into their overall business strategy?
Yeah. So I would say, right, what do you want to achieve from BI? What is your business? What do you want to achieve? Once you understand what you want to achieve, you then look at, well, what is your strategy for your business? Yep. Once you understand that, what is your data? Yep. Who is going to put the data in and analyze the data? Yeah. So if you came to me and asked me how to do this, I would give you a step-by-step guide of exactly what you need to do.
All right. Leisha, some tips for businesses and how they can proactively incorporate business intelligence tools into their overall business strategy.
I think you definitely have to start with, as Marva said, what are you trying to achieve as a business entity?
Right.
Where are you planning to go? When we look at any business, you know what you want to achieve. You know you want to achieve a certain figure by X date. So that means that you're going to be measuring that. Cost of sale again.
Okay.
Turnover. How do you turn over your revenue? All of that is important, right? So we start with your business strategy, and then you look at the items that you're trying to measure and you visualize that. And it's as simple as that.
All
really
right.
and truly.
Got you. And Jamile, your thoughts on that?
I agree with the girls, and I'm going to say something that sounds very simple, but in my experience, and this comes from actual experience and seeing the customers out there, is understand your business. In addition to what was mentioned by Alicia and Melva, have a clear understanding of the business. And it sounds trivial, but you will be surprised how many persons are in the day-to-day. They believe that they understand what is happening around there, but they don't. So one thing that is going to make the difference is if you are able to clearly see where all the data that is being generated for your business now, where it comes from. Having a clear picture, where is all that? Sometimes people are taking decisions and running business with an Excel worksheet that no one knows about it. Make sure that you know about that one, because that one could be a critical part in the process of you setting up a successful business intelligence transformation. And to me, that's extremely important. Yes, you need to know the business strategy, all that is just so true. But having a clear understanding of, let us say, that an inventory of all the data that is being used at the different stages within the organization, that is going to be critical for any successful or any success in you taking on a project or an
Excellent.
adventure.
Excellent.
Okay?
So there's one more thing I want to touch on, and I'm going to ask Leisha to talk about this. Now, we talk about the business being intelligent and incorporating all of these tools, but the fact is that business is made up of people. And if the people aren't themselves equipped to function in this new paradigm of being more intelligent, or using tools that help them to be more intelligent and more efficient, then again we're going to run into our problem. So we can create intelligence within the business, but we have to focus on creating intelligence within the people. Leisha, you mentioned earlier another offering called Viva.
Yes.
What's that about? And you have 2 minutes.
I have 2 minutes
to tell us about Viva.
I'm really gonna try. It's my favorite tool. My favorite. It is my favorite. And the reason is you mentioned our people. Jamaicans are some of the most creative people I've ever met in my entire life. And I think sometimes we underestimate our ability to create great things. Microsoft Viva allows you to manage and understand from an analytical level how you use your time, how you serve your colleagues, how you serve your leadership, how you serve persons who you're serving, meaning persons who report to you. And then it also analyzes your productivity. So I've been using this tool for 4 years, and I have to be very frank, it has changed my entire life. I have a very good understanding of when I'm highly productive versus lowly productive, meaning I'm not as productive as I'd like to be. I know when it's best for me to have a meeting or a webinar. I know when it's best for me to do interviews versus when it's best for me to have very creative time, meaning I'm creating something new and fresh that I'm going to give our customer. And when we step back and look at how businesses are able to create visualizations, in order for you to save your time and your cost of sale, you have to manage your time as an employee. So if you're not doing that, then you cannot do it as a big entity. And so we have to start with how we manage ourselves. And that is something that I find that small businesses, the ones that are doing very well, they manage their time well. They know when the bike rider, you hear how many bikes passed a while ago? They know when the bike rider is gone down the road, when him come back, when he's delivered the food. So many businesses have ballooned that are doing absolutely well because they are managing their time, how they focus, how they collaborate,
right,
when they meet. So this tool is going to enhance your ability as an employee, as a person to manage your time, and then by extension, improve cost of sale, improve the business agility, and improve the creativity that you need for the creation of business intelligence.
Okay, no, you and you're right on time. You did very well. 2 minutes. So hold on. So let me ask you something. Because I notice you skirt around it, But is Viva free?
So Viva comes along free with, it comes built into Office 365 Enterprise an enterprise file. Yes, it does.
So is that
it,
part of some of the freeness you're giving away here?
Yeah, man, we said it.
Okay,
Microsoft
so
Viva, you're getting it.
you get it.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So 50 people need to engage really fast to get some of this free Viva that's going on here.
Exactly.
And I see Jamily wants to say something because Viva is kind of España in a way. So
Viva. Yes. Viva is Espanol in a way.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that Leisha has brought up Viva today, and I couldn't agree more with Leisha that is a life-changing product. And I have been very aware today to not just go over the line with Microsoft products, since of course, I do work for Microsoft, but I think that requires an important call out. And let me just give you quickly, I have my Microsoft Viva daily briefing today in front of me. And so I'm going to give you a quick pick of what it is. For example, the first line is just preparing for today's meeting. And it's giving me a list of the meetings that I'm going to be doing and the related emails. This is AI and machine learning in their maximum expression, giving me the emails that are related to those meetings that I'm going to have. It's picking up the subjects and then showing me between 9 and 9:40 a.m. This is what I have, between 12 and 12:30. So it's giving the list of everything that might be related to that. Then it's showing me the documents that I might have to be using for those meetings that I'm going to have, along with those emails. As well, it's just telling me, catch up with the team, things might have missed, communication from my team that were shared, meetings that I have, one-on-ones that I have set with them. And there is another line that says commitments and follow-ups. If any of my emails says, I will let you know, it's picking it up to say, you have said this to so-and-so. If you have said in your email, I will follow up. As well, it's going to bring that email to you to say, remember that you were to follow up with this. It gives you so much of it is absolutely unbelievable.
So a lot of intelligence. A lot of intelligence.
And productivity at the top of the expression, which is what Leisha was saying. With this one, you can just go boom, boom, boom. Then you mark them as done. You can put them and remind me later, and it will allow you to do that. So you can manage your time and actually use your time in a more productive way. I couldn't leave this call today without endorsing Viva to the place that it does deserve, because it's a really, really good product.
So you're saying Viva to Viva.
Viva to Viva. Viva to Viva. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, look, we're up on our time. This has been a really informative and instructive discussion. We've learned so much about, what is out there, what we need to look at, and some of the advantages of managing business in a data-driven way, and obviously using tools like Power BI to realize that. So what I'm going to do before I just wrap up, each person, I'm going to give you 20 seconds to do your little closing remarks, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So, Leisha, go, 20 seconds.
Okay, thanks so much, Trevor. So I just want to encourage the Jamaican small business community. You are one of the most creative set of persons, and we definitely encourage you to utilize intelligence. Don't be afraid of it. Take advantage of the 15-minute discovery calls. Book with us the first 50 persons before November 9th, and we will support you and help you. We encourage you to utilize the free technology that exists so that we can serve each other better and continue to grow and thrive as a country.
Marva?
I'd like to thank everyone for inviting me. I'd like to take the opportunity to say to the Jamaican business owners, regardless of how big or small you are, take the opportunity to have someone like me, a business analyst, and by the way, you can afford me, as well as the business intelligent tools, and make not only your organization, your business better, but also Jamaica as a whole better.
Because
fantastic country, fantastic people, we have the opportunity to move forward and be better.
Love it, love it, love it. And Jamile, your 20 seconds.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for having me here today, representing Microsoft on our side. And yes, I'm a plus one to what Lesha said and Malva said as well. I totally agree. This is a country of entrepreneurs by heart, by design, by DNA. And I believe that something like adding business intelligence to your already creativity and desire for succeed and push your business forward is just the smartest things that you could do at this point in time, because as I mentioned before, it's the way of giving yourself a competitive edge, is the way to creating a differentiator, is creative increasing your probability or possibility of success in whatever venture you are connecting yourself. Again, Microsoft Power BI, Microsoft Innova, and business analysts like Malva, we are here to help, just to support you and make your dreams to grow and become true. Thank you, Trevor, for the invitation. I love it.
And I want to thank you guys so much for accepting the challenge. Girl power on display this morning. And you know, to the audience again, you know, we've talked about a lot. We hope that, you know, what we've shared, you know, was of value to you. This is, you know, we're now at the end of this edition of the Jamaica Observer Digital Life webinar. Today we were talking about how to intelligently manage your business using specifically Microsoft Power BI to have more data-driven decision making in your business so that you can have that competitive edge, so that you can better make decisions, understand your business, give your customers a better experience, and ultimately make some more money, because that's what we're in this thing for. So I again thank you for joining us. Look out for us in the next quarter. We have another thing working on. So another Digital Life webinar will be coming your way at the beginning of the new year. And we look forward to seeing you. Again, I'm your moderator, Trevor Forrest. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us, and you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
How do you manage to stay on top of your work, not only at your desk, but wherever you are? When you have Innova Solutions by your side, you can pick up your work right where you left off. Whether it's on your mobile phone or your tablet, easily access your files without compromising on security. Take turns working on the same document with your colleagues while doing a quick conference call. Stay connected while balancing work and life. Whether you're already on your journey to a new way of work or just getting started, Innova Solutions is your trusted partner to reimagine the way you work.